In 1994, in Rwanda, you might expect to live just 12.2 years. See, back then, Rwanda, a small country in East Africa, faced one of the worst genocides in recorded history.
Today, for mile after mile, there are more corpses along this road than ever before.
In 1916, Belgium had gained control of the country, another added to their list of colonial exploits. At the time, the country was made up of two main ethnic groups, Hutu and Tutsi. The Belgians strictly enforced this ethnic divide, issuing ID cards to all Rwandans. The first line marked their race, Hutu or Tutsi. After independence, the Hutu government kept the system of ethnic segregation, and tensions between the two groups only grew. And then, in 1994, a plane carrying the Hutu president was shot down. The country erupted into violence. Over about 100 days, Hutu extremists massacred more than 70% of the minority Tutsi population. Estimates range from 500,000 to 800,000 Tutsis killed. In the years after, this man, Paul Kagame, has attempted to heal the divide through rather controversial means. His government criminalised genocide ideology, arresting, jailing and sometimes disappearing those accused of holding ethnic prejudice. And news coverage has largely been restricted to state-owned outlets who emphasise national unity and downplay Hutu-Tutsi divisions. But have these efforts been successful? Have they really healed a once brutally divided society?
There's been a lot of criticism of Kagame in the way that he's governed.
That's Arthur Blouin, a development economist from the University of Toronto.
Ever since he's come in, he's put a high value on reconciliation.
In the years following Rwanda's genocide, Kagame, president of Rwanda, wanted to eradicate any remaining ethnic hatred from his country. But whilst that goal might seem noble, his methods weren't always.
Textbooks have changed in schools and in prisons. People go to these re-education camps, and there's propaganda on the radio. The media freedoms are really low because they want to control the message and the narrative.
In attempts to remove prejudice from Rwandan society, Kagame has pursued controversial methods, strictly controlling what people can say in public, and even disappearing journalists who don't exactly follow the party line. But how successful have these tactics been to heal a once brutally divided society?
The post-genocide period has been characterized by extremely low ethnic violence. So at like a surface level, it really seems like they've been remarkably successful. But the critics have said that like a lot of this is due to the fact that everybody knows how the state wants them to behave. There's this real question about whether or not what looks like reconciliation is real.
Arthur and his co-author, Sharun Mukand, wanted to find out. Rwanda has long been nicknamed the land of 1,000 hills, its geography dominated by rolling green mountains and lush valleys. And interestingly, this created a natural experiment to test how well Kagame has healed the country's divide. See, the broadcast of much news and information is confined to the state-run Radio Rwanda. This station is largely an instrument of state policy, promoting national unity and reconciliation. But because of the many hills, only some of Rwanda's villages pick up these radio signals.
Turns out that like if you calculate the signal strength of a lot of these places, which side of the mountain you happen to live on determines your exposure to the propaganda.
Importantly, this created two groups of people, those who received Radio Rwanda and therefore were exposed to the government's propaganda, and those who weren't. With these two groups identified, researchers could see if those exposed were more united, not divided by their Hutu or Tutsi identity. To do this, they exposed both groups to a series of tests. One such test was a private trust game, testing how well two people trusted each other. Two participants were taken at random, assigned as player 1 or player 2. Player 1 was given 600 Rwandan franc, about a day's wage. Then they were instructed to transfer player 2 as much as they wanted. Let's say in this example, player 1 gives away 200. The researchers would then match that amount, also giving it to player 2. Player 2 could then choose to keep all this money, or give some back to player 1. If they trusted each other, player 1 could give everything to player 2. The researchers would match this, and player 2 could split their total equally, both walking away with 600 Rwandan franc. But if they didn't, player 1 could keep everything and offer player 2 nothing. The researchers did this experiment many times, with participants exposed to government propaganda and those who weren't. And this shows some of their results. We can see the amount of money offered by player 1 when playing with those of the same ethnicity and those with different ethnicities. Clearly, those of the same ethnicity give more money. They trust each other more if they're from the same ethnic group. But this only shows people who didn't receive the radio broadcasts. Add in the people who did, and the story changes. Now, players offer about 340 Rwandan franc if they are different ethnicities, compared to only around 325 if they are both of the same ethnicity. The result is clear. Hutus and Tutsis seem to trust each other more if they've been exposed to the government's propaganda.
A lot of the examples that we have of propaganda being effective are when media freedoms are low, but they're also really almost entirely negative. But here, the propaganda has had what I think almost everybody would view as a really positive outcome, where this can actually be a policy tool that can be helpful for post-conflict societies, when like really everything we know about propaganda up until this point is bad.
Kagami's somewhat oppressive methods might just have worked. Thank you to Arthur Blouin for his support as part of this project. Please watch further videos in our series delivered by Discover Economics, Cage Research Centre, and the Centre for Economics, Policy and History. Please visit our website and follow us on social media.